Most of SaaS CEOs may think of analytics as a feature. The best ones treat it as a growth engine. As a CEO, I would not evaluate analytics to make a dashboard decision. I would evaluate it to make a business decision. My name is Arman Eshraghi, CEO and founder at Qrvey. In this video, I'll break down 3 major advantages of embedded analytics and AI, and also I will talk about some major risks involved. If done right, it will be a competitive advantage, and if not, it will be a long-term liability. Embedded analytics can strengthen 3 metrics that every CEO cares about: retention, expansion, and also the growth coming from the new logos. Let's think about retention. By adding analytics to your product, now you have way more in your disposal to deepen the value of your product and make it more than just managing the transaction and offering some processes with a variety of capabilities that users need to gain insight, need to take action, need to understand their data. Now you can do it, and it deepens the value of your product, because now if they care about the self-service to be on the driver's seat and change the data view and insight the way they want and manage their alerts for everything they need, now you can do it. If they want totally autonomous AI capabilities, you can do it. By doing that, you're not only adding value, making your product more likable, but also you are making it harder to replace, and that increases the retention. Second, expansion. By monetizing analytics, you can expand the revenue for the existing customers. Of course, some of the functions that you define and you know that users would need, majority of your users and customers would use, that can be part of your product at no additional cost. But also there are a number of opportunities for you to really think about more advanced users or more advanced capabilities or some larger customers that you have, and that those particular needs then can be offered as an extra, and that brings you the expansion you need out of the analytics you add to your product. Last but not least, a good analytic can help you to win new deals as well. The market is getting more competitive, and so do the evaluations. By making the product demo better and showcase better the value, it will help you to win new deals. You do not want to be in a situation that your competitors have much better analytics than you have. At the end of the day, if I'm a user or a new customer and I'm looking at your application and your product, I wanted to see what is the end result. After I enter all of this data and go through all of these processes and transactions, then how can I get what I want? How can I see the data? How can I understand it? How can I take action? How can I automate it? And all of these is the value I get after I work with your application. But you can showcase that during the demo upfront to create that impression that you need in order to win the deals faster. We talked about the upside, but also there are some risks involved. Embedded analytics is strategic, so the risks will be strategic too. Now, knowing the risks will help you to eliminate them, prevent them, or minimize them. I would categorize risks in 3 buckets: control, cost, and exposure. First, control. When you are embedding analytics into your product, there are certain areas that you should be careful about so you can manage control effectively. Product roadmap alignment. If this was your analytic, your team developing analytics, when you look at the product roadmap, does it match to your expectation? Is it the kind of enhancements that you would have added to the product on the analytics side if it was yours? Also, the agility and the pace of innovation that you see based on the historical data. When you go to market with your product, it's not just your needs today, but also as the market changes, as the expectation moves higher and your customers expect more. Can you see that agility and innovation on the other side that allows you to really go to market and satisfy the customer's expectation with no problem and compete effectively with competitors? Architecture is also one of those things. Does it offer you enough flexibility so you are not limited, you don't lose control, and you can add items to your product without being worried about being restricted on the analytics side? Second, cost. Of course, understanding the licensing and pricing will help you to see if it's a good match to your product and the way you sell your product. But also you need to ask yourself a question that if I sign up my biggest customer ever in the history of company tomorrow morning, well, how much does it impact the cost structure I have on the embedded analytics side? Does it tax me too much? Then it's not the right pricing model for you. Also, you need to understand all of the hidden costs. If, for example, if I add a new connection, if I add a new instance, if I go to a new region, does it add again to the cost and in an undesirable way? And in that case, I may not have planned for it and may negatively impact my business. And also you need to understand how much services that normally is costly do I need in order to get to the finish line. So that's on the cost side, helps you to manage and maintain the model the best way you can. Finally, exposure. There will be some vulnerabilities that you need to pay attention to. Data security and privacy is one of the obvious ones, but also you need to look at the compliances and how does it impact your software. Also the vendor in general, if they're really running on a long-term vision and they're treating their customers with that in mind, or it's very short-term and they have a timetable and they are optimizing everything based on the outcome of the exit. So we talked about upsides and also we talked about some risks associated with embedded analytics and AI. But I just wanted to emphasize again, when you are making a decision about embedded analytics, it's way beyond just adding some reports. You can look at it strategically in a way that you are really adding intelligence to your product. And bear in mind that very near future, the expectation of customers based on everything we see is to receive a much more intelligent software product. And if your product is not on a par with the market, then you are going to lose against competitors.